This is great. The leader of the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation just wrote a letter addressed to President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, requesting a meeting to discuss the organization's expectations and priorities.
Uh-oh.
BLM co-founder and executive director Patrisse Cullors.
Ugh.
She is the one who said...
we are trained Marxists.
Excuse me?
We are trained Marxists.
You are what?
We are trained Marxists.
Trained Marxists. Okay, so these trained Marxists are now, quote, relieved that the Trump era in government is coming to a close. They're relieved, of course, to be getting rid of those historic lows in unemployment. They're relieved that record high home ownership by blacks, the lowest ever poverty rate. What a relief to have those out of the way, and we can get back to the Democrats screwing us over time after time after time. So these trained Marxists are celebrating the electoral demise, supposedly, of Donald Trump, and they also are aware that his political exit does not ensure an end to the intolerable conditions faced by black people in America. The letter was dated Saturday, November 7th, the day the media outlets projected the winner in this thing. They say, without resounding support of black people, we would be saddled with a very different electoral outcome. In short, black people won this election. Alongside black-led organizations around the nation, Black Lives Matter invested heavily in this election. Huh, really? I just thought it was a peace movement. I thought it was a movement of racial equality. You're saying that you fought hard in a partisan way for the Democrats? Vote and organize became our motto, and our electoral justice efforts reached more than 60 million voters. We want something for our vote.
Well, can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, we want something for our vote.
It's Black Lives Matter saying that.
Yeah. We want to be heard. We want our agenda prioritized. We issue these expectations not just because black people are the most consistent and reliable voters for Democrats, but also because black people are truly living in crisis in a nation that was built on our subjugation. Up until this point, the United States has refused to directly reckon with the way it devalues black people and devastates our lives. This cannot continue. Black people can neither afford to live through the vitriol of a Trump-like presidency. What did Donald Trump do to you?
What did you say?
Except make your life better!
What did you say at the beginning of this segment about all of the good things happening for blacks in Trump's America?
Yeah, their lowest unemployment rate of all time.
Okay.
Lowest unemployment. Highest home ownership for blacks of all time.
All right, sure, but...
Lowest poverty rate for blacks of all time.
I mean...
How is that intolerable? And yet they're still victims of Donald Trump.
Huh.
And the vitriol. They can't live through the vitriol of a Trump-like presidency, nor through the indifference of a Democrat-controlled government that refuses to wrestle with its most egregious and damnable shame. Why do you keep voting for them, then?
We literally don't live in the same universe.
No, I know. It's true. How do you come together with people who believe this way? Cullors ended the message by referencing Biden and Harris's records, both of whom previously supported tough-on-crime policies, right, that have been blamed for contributing to the mass incarceration of black people. And yet, once again, they just blindly went down the Democrat road. We're just blindly following Joe Biden down that road, who has never done a thing for blacks. Not one thing in 47 years of service. That is incredible. That's incredible. Except perpetrate some of the stereotypes. Like they're not clean. They're not well-spoken. They're not articulate. Well, articulate and well-spoken kind of mean the same thing. But they're not good-looking.
Ironic.
Let's just say, let's see what he had to say about black people.
I mean, you got the first sort of
mainstream.
Okay,
they're not mainstream. Until Barack Obama, they weren't mainstream.
Who is articulate and
Weren't articulate.
bright
Bright. They're not bright.
and clean.
And clean.
Nice-looking guy.
And nice-looking guys. There's just no nice-looking black guys.
I mean, that's a storybook, man.
Yeah. But to have somebody like that, that's a storybook, man, because that just doesn't happen, right? Isn't that what he's saying here? That's what he's saying here. I mean, this is the guy who said that they all think alike.
And by the way, what you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
Really?
Huh. Okay.
That's weird.
I mean, you got a couple there. That's now you're done.
Just a couple. Right? I mean,
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Oh.
Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. No, I really mean it, but think how we think about it.
He means it. He really means it. Think about it.
Okay, but you got a couple of isolated incidences, and then, your hateful conservative bent, you're going to pick those out, You're cherry picking Joe Biden lines over his career.
There's so few.
So if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
And you ain't black.
Okay, I give up. I don't really have anything.
There's more, too. I mean, there's this crime bill.
The Predators thing. Oh, and his kids growing up in a racial jungle.
Right.
Yep.
They must be taken off the street.
He's talking about blacks here.
That's number one. There's a consensus on that. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock,
that aren't
without
bright,
parents, without supervision,
they're not clean,
without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes.
Okay.
Good for
because
us.
they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity.
He's saying literally.
We should focus on them now. If we don't,
then what happens?
They will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now.
Jeez. So, congratulations, Patrice Cullors. There's your man. There's your guy who is going to lead you to the promised land. He's going to do so many great things for black people because, wow, what a track record he has with that minority group. Good luck. How does it happen? And there was some pushback against that this time in the black community. There was some pushback. And I thought for a minute that there was going to be, a pretty significant change, but apparently not at the polls. I don't know where that vote ended up. Have you seen where the black vote ended up?
I know black men did drift a little bit toward Trump, but black women not so much.
Dang.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
And what was another BLM thing is going to be to defund police, right? In cities across America. So that's going to be fun.
That's really fun. And in Minneapolis, where they were the first to really push that. And the city council said, no, we're defunding you. We're tired of you guys. We don't want you around. Minneapolis has such a spike in crime right now, and they've gotten rid of too many police officers who have quit or been fired or have been furloughed because there's no money anymore. They have to outsource their police work to other jurisdictions now to try to combat the crime overload in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Is that amazing?
Who could have seen that coming?
Who could have seen it coming?
I mean, you can't know everything that's going to happen.
It's really true. All right, join us tomorrow for more on trivia.